Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and pranams. Thank you for joining in for our Ramayana study session today. Let's begin with prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपा कथामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सुजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनाः सहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णाप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत्. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and advanced, welcoming you all again for our Ramayana study session. So we were very an interesting phase last week when we completed Ramayana, Kishkinda Kand, where we saw that Lord Ram finally killed Vali, and then also answered the queries raised by Vali. Why did he stand behind the tree and kill him? Right? Because he also usurped Sugriva's wife, and also he's a monkey, right? So Lord Ram as a Kshatriya could hunt like that. So in various ways he explained to Vali, and then Sugriva was also remorseful that his brother had to meet this kind of death because he had no personal animosity. It was a misunderstanding. And then finally today we're going to read how Lord Ram fulfills this part of the promise by killing Vali and coronating Sugriva as the king of Kishkinda. And then now let's see what does Sugriva do after this, right? Does he fulfill his part of the promise? That's what we're going to study today. So let me share my screen. Those of you who would like to read can raise your hand and start reading. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen. Oh, sorry, shared the wrong screen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. Okay. Yes, Deval Mataji, please go ahead. Rama was moved to tears. Yeah, from there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Rama was moved to tears upon hearing Sugriva's piteous lamentations. As he considered the monkey's sorrowful words, Tara approached him and said, O all-powerful one, I too shall enter the fire along with Vali. I have no desire for life without my husband. Surely he will miss me, even among the Apsaras in heaven, for I have always been his most devoted servant. Tara begged Rama to kill her with the arrow which had slain Vali. O Rama, the wife is always considered one with her husband. Therefore, you need not fear the sin of killing a woman. You will only be completing the task of killing Vali by taking my life. I cannot tolerate the pain of separation from my spouse. Surely you know only too well what that terrible pain is like. Rama looked compassionately at Tara, who had fallen to the ground. He consoled her most gently. O wife of a hero, do not think it this way. This entire creation yields happiness and distress, one after another, for all created beings in accord with their destiny. Where will you go to avoid your fate? Be peaceful here. Having duly mourned for your husband, you will soon enjoy as much delight under Sugriva's protection as you did with Vali. Your son will become Prince Regent, and you will be honored. All this is ordained by providence. O Tara, the wives of heroes, never lament as you are doing now. Rama instructed Tara according to the moral codes which applied to her race. On the death of her husband, she should accept his brother as her spouse and serve him as she had Vali. Tara became silent, gazing at Ram, who now turned to Sugriva to comfort him. Rama told Sugriva to take heart and attend to Vali's funeral. The soul of the monkey king would not be held by simply grieving for him. The time for grieving must soon end, and duties must be performed. Rama said gravely, time controls everything. While he has succumbed to all powerful time, going to the regions he has earned by his own acts. Now time is urging you to perform your religious duties towards your brother. Sugriva stood looking at Ram. His mind was bewildered with grief and remorse. Lakshman took hold of the monkey's arm and told him to proceed with Vali's cremation. Lakshman gave detailed instructions to the confused Sugriva. Hearing the prince speak, Sugriva's attendants ran to carry out his orders. Rama again spoke to the grieving Tara. O Vanara queen, carefully consider whether or not his dead body of Vali was ever related to you. It is nothing but a collection of inert chemicals. The real person is the soul, not the body. In ignorance only do we form relationships based upon bodily considerations, calling others husband, son, or friend. Rama explained that the soul is without designations. It is eternal and dwells for only a short time in the body. During our brief sojourn in our bodies, we form so many illusory relationships, but all of these will undoubtedly be broken by the force of time. The soul's real happiness lies in its relationship with God. Vali had now moved closer to that eternal relationship, and no one need lament for him. As Rama spoke, Vali's grieving relatives felt relief. Gathering themselves together, they prepared for Vali's funeral. A beautiful wooden palanquin was fetched. Vali's body was carefully laid on it, and it was lifted by 8 powerful monkeys. Vali looked like a fallen god. The palanquin was adorned by numerous carvings of birds, trees, and fighting soldiers. Over its top was lattice work covered with a net and many garlands and jeweled ornaments. The sides of the palanquin were daubed with red sandal paste, and lotus flowers were laid out all along its edges. Sugriva and Angada bore the palanquin along the other monkeys. Sugriva had regained his composure, and he issued orders to the monkeys: walk ahead of us, scattering the ground with jewels of every description. Let learned monkeys recite the scriptures, and we shall proceed slowly to the cremation ground. The procession moved off, heading towards the river bank. A great wail was sent up by the many females who walked in front. Gradually, they came to the river, and a funeral pyre was built on its bank. The palanquin was set down next to the pyre, and Tara again fell to the ground, crying mournfully, O hero, why do you not cast your glance upon me today? See, here your wives are all weeping, who have trodden the long path behind you. Here are your ministers sunk in a sea of dejection. O Vali, dismiss your counselors now as you did in the past. Then we shall sport together, intoxicated with love. The great women gently raised Tara, who was overwhelmed with sorrow. With the help of Sugriva and the weeping Angada, they lifted Vali's body onto the pyre. Angada then lit the pyre and walked around his father, who had set out on his journey to the next world. All others joined him in slowly circumambulating the blazing pyre. Everyone then entered the river and offered sacred water to Vali's soul. After the obsequies obsequies were performed, Sugriva and his counselors surrounded Rama and Lakshman. Hanuman, who resembled a golden peak of Mount Meru, folded his hands and said to Rama, by your grace, O Raghava, has Sugriva acquired the ancestral kingdom of the Vanaras. Please enter the city of Kishkinda in state, and with your permission, we will perform the coronation ceremony. Rama looked stern as he replied, commanded by my father, I shall not enter even a village for 14 years, much less a city. You may proceed into the city and duly install Sugriva as your king. I shall remain outside, finding some suitable cave for my residence. Rama instructed Sugriva to remain in Kishkinda for the coming few months. It was the beginning of the monsoon season, so it would be impossible to search for Sita. When the rains ended, Sugriva should dispatch the monkeys in all directions to look for Ravana and the princess. Sugriva took leave of Rama and went into his city, which was situated within a vast mountain cave. In accordance with scriptural injunctions, a grand coronation ceremony was performed. Everyone repeatedly extolled Rama and Lakshmana, feeling honored by the friendship of the two princes from Ayodhya. Sugriva was reunited with his wife, Ruma, and he entered Vali's magnificent palace. Awaiting the end of the rainy season, he lived happily, surrounded by his wives and ministers. Hare
Right.
Krishna Mataji, thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Okay, so this is interesting that even when Bali is, I was just recounting, 2 days back, my grandmother passed away. She was 95 years old, and she had such a sattvic life. And the way she left, also, she had darshan of her beloved Guru Ayyappan, and he said, Guru Ayyappa, and then she, she went to sleep. The next day morning, she left peacefully, while in her sleep itself. So we see here that by the grace of the Lord, I had just spoken to the temple president and the temple Sumitra Krishna Prabhu had arranged for two devotees to personally come and recite the Ishopanishad verses 17, 18, Bhagavad Gita, and when all the verses were recited, a Maha garland of Perumal was brought, Tulasi leaf was kept, Ganga Jal was given. So in this way, the Lord arranges for everything. Actually, I didn't know anyone, in Chennai. Now I'm in Pune, so I didn't know anybody in Chennai. But then, how the Lord arranges, we cannot imagine. She got such a wonderful recitation of Ishopanishad Vedic scriptures. So here it is interesting that even for Vali, that's what Sugriva ordered, that all the monkeys also recite the Vedic scriptures. So it is very, very important that we remember the Lord at all times, right? It is not about how rich or how famous or whatever has been we have been throughout our life. All that doesn't matter at all. When we leave our body, right, we simply need to remember the Lord, and we want to get the eternal destination of reawakening our Krishna prema. Or even if you don't become eligible to go back home, back to God, at least we should be able to progress in our path of devotional service and become more closer to Krishna. That is the perfection of human form of life. Yeah. So here, yeah, we see that everybody is sad, everybody is feeling separation, but yet what Lord Rama says, dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhira satana muyati. So what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is what Lord Ram also says here, right? Everybody goes through happiness, everybody goes through suffering as seen through their eyes, right? According to one's bodily attachments. If one gets some name, fame, glory, some promotion, something that they perceive as happiness, they feel joy, and what they perceive as distress because of the loss of a loved one, or loss of job, or whatever else may happen in our life. We may perceive it as suffering, but come what may, happiness and distress, we need to continue to perform our dharma, and that is what Lord Ram is also instructing Sugriva and Vali's wife Tara, right, and Angada and all of them, right, and he himself is performing his own dharma, that he is not even entering into any kingdom, right, he has to be in the forest, and that's how he will continue. So in this way, Lord Ram has fulfilled the promise. He's coronated Sugriva. Now Sugriva on his part has to go and search for the whereabouts of Mother Sita. So that's the next chapter that we're going to start now. Search of Mother Sita. So let's quickly go ahead. The search begins. Sarvagopeshwari Mataji, please go ahead. Chapter 12.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chapter 12. Rama and Lakshmana moved to the nearby Mount of Prashrava and Haribo and Prashravan and sought out a large cave close to its summit. They settled in, spending their time talking together and performing sacrifice. But Rama's mind rarely left Sita. His only consolation was to describe her qualities to Lakshman. He longed for the rainy season to end, and so that he could search for his beloved wife. Gradually, the rain subsided, the sky cleared, and the resonant cries of the cranes filled the air. Although the monsoons were over, however, Sugriva still did not prepare his army to search for Sita. Realizing this, Rama discussed the situation with Lakshman. It seems that Vanara king has forgotten his debt to us, noble brother. Why have his messengers not arrived here with the news of their search? Oh, Lakshman, I fear that the gentle Sita is lost forever. What is she doing now? Surely her mind dwells on me. Even as mine never leaves her, surely she weeps in agony, even as I weep here. Rama's grief was as strong as it had been when Sita was abducted 4 months ago. Rama felt powerless. He was still no closer to finding Sita that the day she was kidnapped, and now Sugriva, upon whom his hopes were resting, was letting him down. Rama sat distracted by sorrow. Lakshmana reassured him, "This is not the time to grieve, dear brother. We must earnestly exert ourselves to find Sita. With you as her protector, no one can rule the princess for long. Compose yourself, Rama. Let us do what what must be done. Rama sighed and looked around. On a plateau beneath the cave, a large pond has been formed by the rains. Swans and cranes spotted joyfully in the water among clusters of white and red lotuses. Rama could hear the croaks of frogs and the cities of peacocks. In the distance, he heard the tramping of the elephants. In a right, large black bees droned around the bright forest flowers. Intoxicated with the nectar, the sky was a deep blue, and the wind, which had blown fiercely during the monsoons, had become gentle breeze. The sights and sounds of the autumn were visible everywhere. Rama was reflective. Where was Sugriva? Had he forgotten his promise now that his own problem had been solved? How could he be so ungrateful? Rama's brow furrowed with anger, and he turned to Lakshman. These past 4 months have seemed like 100 years for me. I have longed for the end of the rains, O Lakshmana, so that we might find Sita as we agreed with Sugriva. Although I have rendered him a great favor, the evil-minded monkey king obviously holds me in contempt, seeing me forlorn and deprived of my kingdom, living helplessly, Hare Krishna, like an ascetic in the forest. The wicked fellow entirely disregards me. Rama told Lakshmana to go to Kishkinda. He should tell Sugriva there is no viler being than one is ungrateful. Ungrateful. Had he forgotten the favor Rama had done for him and the promise he had made in return? Did he wish to again see Rama's golden bow drawn to its full length? Did he desire to see Rama angry on the battlefield? Did he long to hear again the crash of Rama's bowstring sounding like so many claps of thunder? It was strange that Sugriva seemed to have forgotten how Vali was slain by single arrow from Rama. Although Sugriva himself could never overcome his brother, Rama's eyes were crimson with anger as he spoke. It is clear that Sugriva is lost in sensual pleasures. Having regained his kingdom after a long time, drunk and surrounded by women, he has all but forgotten his pledge to me. Tell him, O brother, that the path taken by Vali still lies open. Along with all his kinsmen, Sugriva may proceed along that path if he does not care for his promise. He should take heed of this warning. Otherwise, he will meet again soon with Vali. Lakshman himself became furious as he listened to Rama. He told Rama that he would go immediately to Kishkinda with upraised weapons. He would dispatch Sugriva to death abroad. Clearly, the licentious and unvirtuous Sugriva was not fit to rule a kingdom. Angada should be installed as king, and he could organize the search for Sita. Sugriva should be punished without delay. Lakshman stood up and reached his weapon. Rama, whose anger had already begun to subside, then checked his brother. I think it's not fitting that we kill Sugriva. Try at first to pursue gentle path. Remind him of our friendship and his promise. O Lakshmana, do not use harsh words immediately. After all, Sugriva is but a monkey. Perhaps you can awaken him to a sense of his duty by conciliatory speech. Lakshman bowed in assent to Rama's word. Although he could not subdue his anger, he left the cave and began running toward Kishkinda, thinking of what he would say to Sugriva. He could not disobey Rama's order, but he would not tolerate any resistance from Sugriva. If that lazy monkey did not immediately set about his duty, he would be sorry. How dare he be so negligent of his promise to Rama? Who did he think he was Lakshman bit his lips in fury as he bounded down the mountainside.
Hare
In the
Krishna.
Hare
Mataji,
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So see, like Lord Ram is mentioning very beautifully, the most atrocious thing that we can ever do is to be ungrateful to people who have helped. And in this case, it was a clear promise, right? But from Sugriva's side, he's enjoying his newly acquired kingdom, but yet he is only a monkey, right? And then the Lord is expecting even the monkey to perform his duty and perform his duties, perform as per his promise. So, how much would be the expectations of the Lord for human beings, right? We've all, it is said that the child in the womb of the mother prays to the Lord that, oh, please let me get out of this dungeon, right? It is full of urine and pus and blood of the mother. And the child is so much caught like a captive inside the womb, right? And the child prays to the Lord, please let me get out of here. I'll definitely remember you. I'll glorify you. I'll pray, like that. But then as we come out and then we are surrounded by all the relatives, and then we become subjugated by the three modes of material nature, right? Thinking that I am this body, oh, these are all my relatives, like that. And then our and the covering only grows further and further as we grow, right? Unless because of our previous credits, we are born in a family of Vaishnavas where we are continuously taught right from the beginning to study the Sanskrit verses, to study the Bhagavad Gita, to study the Bhagavatam under a bona fide guru. In that way, the first initiation or the Harinam initiation actually gets us formally connected to our guru, right? Unless that happens, unless we study Srila Prabhupada's books, the more whatever species we may be in, Jalada Navalakshani Stavra Lakshvimshati, Kramayo Rudra Sankhyakaa, Pakshinam Dashalakshanam, Trimshil Lakshani Pashaha, Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. So whether we are in the body of a reptile or a plant or a bird or a beast or a reptile or a human being, right? That birth is that seminal birth, it is called, right? That birth is useless, right? Unless we follow dharma, even as a human being, right? They do this Upanayanam for boys, and also by the grace of Prabhupada, even ladies they have the opportunity to become a dvija, to get initiated with the Harinam Diksha, of course, and also with the Gayatri mantra, right? So when we chant these mantras, dedicating our lives for the pleasure of the Lord, then only our life becomes any better than that of any of the other species that we discussed, right? Whether of reptiles or of plants or of birds or beasts. If we live our life like aquatics, right? Just like aquatics and birds and beasts and plants, simply trying to eat, sleep, mate, and defend, and trying to do that better, then our life would as good as be the same as the life of say these monkeys or these reptiles or these dogs or these birds and beasts, right? But now that dharmo eko adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubir samanam. So what is the dharma of the human being, of a living entity? The dharma of a living entity is jivera swarupa he krishnera nitya das. We need to serve the supreme personality of Godhead. We've all given that promise to the supreme personality of Godhead, and if we break the promise, then we will be equal to monkeys, right? Simply we are by seeing these illusions of this material world, we forgotten our promise to serve the Lord, to always remember the Lord, to never forget the Lord. Then we will become like these monkeys, and then we will deepen our connection with this material world, which means we are cutting off our connection more and more with Lord Sri Krishna. And then it will take millions and millions of lifetimes for us to go back home, back to Godhead. And that is what we are experiencing. But now, Brahmande Brahmite Kona, Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya, Bhakti Lata Bija. We are all so fortunate by the grace of Guru and Gauranga, right? Brahmande Brahmite Kona. In this universe, so many species are there. And we are fortunate to get this human form of life. And Bhagyavan, we are also Bhagyavan. We are also very fortunate, Jiva, because some of the association of Srila Prabhupada's books, we've got the association of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, the devotees, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasadi Paya, we've got this Bhakti Lata Bija, we've got the seed of devotional service. Hence, it's our duty to water that seed by chanting and hearing Lord Krishna's names, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also, we need to provide adequate sunlight, right? Which is the study of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, like out of the 64 angas of bhakti, which are considered topmost. Rupa Goswami has given us just 5 angas. If we perform these 5 angas, then we will revive our reawaken our Krishna consciousness, our love for Krishna, provided to do it with sincerity. Right? Sadhu Sangha Namakirtana Bhagavata Shravana Mathura Vasa Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevana. Right? In association of devotees, right? That will enable us to get the adequate sunlight. Right? And then Sadhu Sangha Namakirtana Bhagavata Shravana Namakirtan, hearing and chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. That is the process of watering this bija or this seed of bhakti. And then for the soil has to be fertile. How will the soil be fertile? When we remove the unnecessary weeds of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mata, matsarya, the desire for name, fame, glory, the desire for acquiring things of this material world, right? All of these are weeds. You have to cut out those weeds. Like his only Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj says, and Prabhupada also says in the lecture, you have to become expert gardeners. You have to carefully guard our bhakti creeper, right? How do we guard our bhakti creeper, right? By ensuring weeds don't grow. Weeds are our desire for name, fame, glory, our desire for material acquisitions, our desire to lord it over material nature, sense gratification. These are all our the weeds that are growing around our bhakti that we are trying to carefully cultivate. And when the soil is fertile, when all these weeds are taken away, and then by the process of watering and by the process of sunlight, that means by the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra and the association of devotees, by hearing Bhagavatam, right? Sadhu Sangha Namakirtana Bhagavata Shravana Shraddha, what is that? Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevana, right? Mathura Vasa Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevana. Along with that, we also worship the deities. Along with that, we also make our home a dham. By doing all of these things, we revive our dormant Krishna consciousness, that which is there in our heart, that promise which we had forgotten all along. Just like Sugriva was reminded by Lakshmana, and immediately he sprang into action. That immediately I will say, I'm so sorry, I'm a monkey. So I just got into the sense gratificatory mode. Immediately I will start my search for Sita. Like that, we also have to immediately start by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. We've got this reminder, right? You had promised that you'll always remember the Lord, but you're engaging in sense gratification. So we've got the seed of bhakti. So immediately we have to also spring into action and continuously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Carefully avoiding the weeds of name, fame, glory, and other material things that we desire. Cut out all those unnecessary weeds. Engage in the association of devotees by hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Make our home a temple of the Lord and engage and honor Krishna Prasadam as our only diet. And in this way, we will reawaken our Krishna consciousness and we will continue with our search for what is dormant in our heart by reawakening our Krishna Prema. Our search to reawaken our love for Krishna can be compared to the search of Mother Sita by Sugriva. Just like Sugriva took the proper advice of Lakshmana, like that we also have to heed to the instructions of our gurus. Get out of complacency, right? Jiva jago, Gaura Chanda bole, Kothani drajao maya, Pishachi rakole. So we are happily sleeping in the lap of Maya and we are thinking we are enjoying, right? But Lakshmana actually represents the spiritual master. So just like when Lakshmana told Sugriva, he immediately sprang into action. We also must heed to the instructions of our gurus, get up from the lap of Maya and start performing our devotional service, and in this way reawaken our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So quickly we'll do Harinam Sankirtan. I would request devotees to switch on your cameras. Let's see who are all there. We have about 3-4 minutes. We'll do Kirtan, and then we will see who are all devotees who've joined today, and then we'll end our session today. We'll continue with how Sugriva starts the search for Sita. Tomorrow, how Hanuman is there, Jambavan is there. They decide who will jump, how many yojanas, and how will they go and start the search of Sita. All interesting pastimes. Tomorrow we will start. रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम जय जय प्रभुपाद Prabhupada. Gurudev, Gurudev, Nitai. Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण शत्रुघ्न हनुमान जी की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् रामायण की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। Thank you, Moshmi Mataji, Sarvagopi Shri Mataji, Rajeshwari Mataji, Chitra Krishna Sevini Mataji, Krishnamurti Prabhu, Archana Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Rakesh Krishnappa Prabhu, who has joined us for the first time. Thank you. Deval Mataji, Shobha Mataji, and Shrimati Shamba Priya Mataji. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll meet tomorrow 4:30 a.m. as we continue with our Shikshashtakam prayers and chanting Hare Krishna. And then we meet at 1:15 p.m. Sorry, got a little late today, but we will continue with our Kishkinda Kand episode of how Sugriva engages the Vanara Sena to go and find Mother Sita. All that tomorrow. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्री रामायण की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय, निताय